Have you ever wondered about the big story behind the Bible? I'm here to take you on an exciting journey through the most essential knowledge from Scripture. The Bible isn't just a book, it's a collection of ancient texts that tell one unified story about God's relationship with us. In the next few minutes, we'll explore the key narratives and themes that have shaped the faith of billions throughout history. Our story kicks off with creation. In Genesis, we see God speaking the universe into existence, forming order out of chaos. The crown of this creation? That's us, humanity made in God's image. But things quickly went sideways. God's response to human rebellion. He chose to work through a family to bring blessing to all nations. This starts with Abraham, who God calls to leave his home and follow him. Abraham's faith gets put to the test when God asks him to sacrifice his son, Isaac. But at the last moment, God provides a substitute, giving us a sneak peek at his ultimate provision in Jesus. The story of God's people continues with Moses and the Exodus. The Israelites, Abraham's descendants, end up as slaves in Egypt. God hears their cries and raises up Moses to lead them to freedom. Through some pretty incredible miracles, God delivers his people and brings them to Mount Sinai. At Sinai, God gives the Israelites the law, including the famous 10 Commandments. But this wasn't just a boring list of do's and don'ts. It was a blueprint for a society that reflects God's character. The law shows us God's holiness and our need for his grace. As we flip through the Old Testament, we see Israel settle in the Promised Land and eventually ask for a king. God gives them Saul, then David, a man after God's own heart. But Israel's story isn't just about kings. God also speaks through prophets, calling his people back to faithfulness. These prophets don't just address immediate issues, they point to a future hope, the coming Messiah who would bring true peace and justice. Alongside this narrative, we find books of wisdom like Psalms and Proverbs, teaching us how to live wisely in God's world. The New Testament opens with the long-awaited Messiah, Jesus. Born in a humble stable, Jesus lives a perfect life, teaches with authority, and performs miracles that show God's kingdom breaking into our world. But his mission reaches its climax in his death on a cross and his resurrection 3 days later. After Jesus returns to heaven, he sends his Spirit to empower his followers. The early church begins to spread the good news about Jesus throughout the Roman Empire and beyond. Through the letters of apostles like Paul, we see how the gospel transforms lives and communities. The Bible concludes with Revelation, a powerful vision of hope that God will one day make all things new. As we wrap up our whirlwind tour through Scripture, remember this: the story isn't over. It's a living narrative that continues today, and you're invited to be part of it. The Bible's wisdom, hope, and life-changing power are as relevant now as they've ever been. So, dive in, explore more, and discover your place in the greatest story ever told. Thanks for joining me on this journey through the Bible.